Hi guys, this is Brittany Muller here reporting from Eagle 8 HD, and Paul Lamison is also here. Hey Paul.
Hey Brittany, welcome up in the Eagle, and I'll let you take it away and talk about the cool story you're working on for today.
Wonderful. Well, hello to all of our viewers who are joining us right now. We are up in Eagle 8 HD because we are flying over the Pinellas County coastline. It is so beautiful out here. And on Saturday, O-Search pinged, is tracking a great white shark, and it pinged right here off our shoreline. So swimmers really don't have to be worried because it wasn't right on the coast and the shoreline. It's miles out there in the Gulf, but it's still out there. So let me tell you, we do know she is a juvenile great white shark, and she's named Rose, and she was tagged by O-Search back in October of 2020. So 2 years ago in Nova Scotia, and we know because of O-Search, they're saying that she weighs 600 pounds. She's 10 feet and 5 inches. So she's pretty massive. And, you know, she's still growing. She is a juvenile great white shark and right off our shoreline. So we've been flying along Egmont Key, which is in Manatee County. We got to see 3 sharks, fairly small compared to, you know, what a great white shark would be, right, Paul?
The sharks weren't that big, but, I mean, they're big. Like, if you see them and you're out swimming, to me, a shark is a shark. Now, a great white would be completely different. I mean, they're just huge. The size difference is amazing. And so that's the most interesting thing to me about this story is that they saw them right out here in our area, because normally we don't really see great white sharks.
You know, that's one of my questions. I'll be talking with O-Search in about an hour, and I just am so curious as to see why Rose is in our waters. I thought they normally typically like to swim in colder waters, so I'm interested to learn more. And, you know, this story will be airing tonight on WFLA, so we're excited to bring that to you. But just an amazing view up here. It's so beautiful out. The water is crystal clear. And we have gotten to see, again, several sharks and even a pod of dolphin. But we know Rose is out here along our coastline and, you know, way out there. So she pinged on Saturday again, and she broke the surface of the water. And that is also so interesting. So we know that she's active out here in our waters.
Yeah, that's the neat thing. And here right now we're on the tail camera that you see the helicopter where we're flying. I'll go ahead and switch it to our nose camera. And here's what happens every day in the Tampa Bay area. Look at this. People out enjoying the water. You see these people parasailing. Now, when we start telling the stories about that, about a shark out here in the water, I think it would make people nervous, especially, look, they're dipping their feet in the water. Now they're going to go up high. They're parasailing. And the thing is, there are sharks out in the water. It's just they usually don't bother us, at least over here on the Gulf Coast in the Gulf of Mexico. Out in the water, enjoying the water, parasailing. And that's what's kind of weird about this story, that the shark pinged right off our coast. Because, again, normally you think great white sharks, maybe Australia, maybe the California coast or somewhere like that. You don't think the Tampa Bay area of great white sharks, so that's kind of cool.
Well, I have to tell you, Paul, and for all of our viewers, you know, this isn't exactly new because we know that I believe her name was Catherine, another great white shark that O-Search was researching, was going along the East Coast in Florida, along the Atlantic, and it was miles. It was so close to the East Coast shoreline that it was frightening to see that. And you could actually go online to O-Search's website and see that for yourself and see all the tracks and pins, and it's unbelievable how close. And to be honest, that was a little too close for comfort. So at least Rose is off of our shoreline where maybe swimmers don't have to worry so much about Rose. But we do know other sharks are out here, and that's not new. But
and that's the thing, you just don't want to know. Like, when I go places, I don't want to know the danger. If I'm having fun, I don't want to know there are sharks. I mean, I know there are sharks. Because I grew up as a kid surfing, and I don't want to know there are sharks. I just want to have the fun of experience in the waterways. And I think that's what people do in Tampa Bay anyway. They just want to experience it. Here, I'll go in and show you. Here's the crowd of the beach. Now, you think back to the Jaws movie on the beach. It's not like that. We're not trying to scare people, but look at this, all the swimmers in the water. Now, if it was Jaws, the shark would be right up here, but we don't have to worry about that today. The sharks we saw were off on a sandbar away from people, and they're not attacking people.
It's so fascinating to learn about these creatures and even the process about tagging these animals and how they research them and their movement and their patterns. And I find it unbelievable to learn about. And, you know, to see all these people out here, I'm very much like you, Paul. I grew up in South Florida, Fort Lauderdale. I swimming. So, you know, when you're doing all of those things, very active in the water, you know sharks are out there. So just to know that a great white is in our waters, it's pretty fascinating. And it's something that I do want to know about. And it's a big talker.
That's the neatest thing. People love to talk about that, and it's something to say, oh, yeah, and here we are. This is a shot from our tail camera of we're flying out over the Gulf, and it's just neat being out here. And I'll switch back to our nose camera, and I'll show you kind of where we saw the shark. This is out in the water. This is Egmont Key, right off Fort Soto. And we were just down here, and I believe it's called, I thought it was Bird Key, but it's not. Bird Key's a little further in. I think this is Sand Key, maybe, one of the keys. But out here just north of Manatee, just north of Anna Maria Island, there's a little sandbar, and that's where we saw the shark, and it was away from people. But the great white shark, it's out in the way far out, so you're not going to just happen to stumble across the great white shark today, at least. That's good news.
That's the very good news, because I wouldn't want to see it in person for myself at all. But we know she's out there, and she's young. I mean, she's a juvenile. She weighs 600 pounds, and she's only going to grow. So I just can't even believe. But it is beautiful to see how many people just really enjoy our coastline. And we know, you know, spring break just happened and still maybe is happening. So people are out here enjoying this, enjoying the water.
Now, Brittany, I didn't think you were supposed to talk about women's weight. You were telling me how heavy the great white is. Now, that might make the shark mad, so if Brittany keeps talking about stuff like that, that's going to really make Rose upset. So I'm just going to say Rose is a perfect size, and she looks great. She's a good-looking shark. And here are people enjoying the waterways. So that's the only thing I've learned from being married, Brittany. I know not to say anything like that. And I also don't talk age of the women either. I just think they all look good. I learned that from my wife.
Well, I'm sure you would think Rose looks great as well. There's some cool pictures of her. So we'll have to share them with you guys. And this story will air tonight. So, of course, we'll incorporate all of those photos of Rose as well. They tagged her in Nova Scotia. Again, that was in 2020. So it's unbelievable video of just seeing a great white shark so close. Obviously not in person, but just to see that video, amazing, jaw-dropping.
Yeah, that's a cool thing. And again, I'm on the nose camera, and we're just showing you boats and people enjoying this beautiful day out here in the Gulf of Mexico. Right now we're down off of Fort Soto, and you see just boats out here and people in the water enjoying the water. And it's neat to know that we know there's sea creatures out here. It's just when we see them, it's really cool. And when you know they're there, it's kind of neat. So that's the fun thing. And I'll give you a shot of Fort Soto just so you kind of get where we are. There's Fort Soto, and this is one of the keys right before it. And I think this is Bird Key. And here, I'll just show you something cool. Here's a pass that was formed in one of the storms. I've been flying in this area for 28 years, and this used to not be a pass. And one of the storms, just how strong it is, it formed this pass. And what it does, it just gives a cool place for people to come hang out and enjoy the beautiful waters.
And Nick, we have some sharks. It looks like some sharks over there, or maybe dolphin, to the left.
There's a manatee right here.
Okay. Well, I'm looking.
Oh, maybe not.
Do we see over here? Can you see, Paul? In it, okay. In the key, there's two. Potentially two sharks.
Here we go.
There we go.
Those are dolphins.
Oh, dolphins. Okay. Those are dolphins. We've seen a lot of those today.
But look how cool that is. I mean, this is one of the best things that we get to do when we fly. Look, it looks like a mom and maybe a baby or a bigger, and they're just, oh, look at that. They're just playing around. What they're doing right now is they're feeding. So they're in this shallow water, and they'll look for our fish that they can eat. And so there's a school of fish. See the fish? It's going all around them. They're going to go, sorry about that, I'm trying to get the camera really steady for you. But they're right in a group of fish, and they're going to be feeding.
How cool is that? You could see it up close. You could see all those little fish that they're feeding on.
Yeah, let me focus for you. There you go. So right around them are the fish, and they're just looking. There you go. So we're over, again, we're doing a story on sharks, but we happen to see dolphins, so we'll let you look at the dolphins and let you look at them feed for a little bit.
Right, and that's just, we are able to enjoy all of this. But just to have a great white shark ping off of our coast and to know that it's in our waters, and there's so much research being done to learn about these animals, and it's really magnificent, the work that OSEARCH is doing just to, learn about them, and it's interactive. So, and you get to, see what they're doing, and I'll be speaking with a researcher from OSEARCH in a few hours. So that'll be really cool to learn about and see what Rose is doing off our coast. We know for the past month, she had been swimming up and down Florida's Atlantic coast, but last month she started making her way into the Florida Keys and into the Gulf, where she was last pinged here off of the Pinellas County coast on Saturday, and she broke the surface of the water. So that's really interesting, really fascinating. And you can see just a close-up and a view, just people out here enjoying this beautiful day. And we're really excited to bring you this story tonight.
Yeah, it's always fun flying up here. So, I mean, Brittany, if you want to keep talking, we can, but eventually we'll go back and we actually have to do regular work. So that's kind of the sad part.
Yeah, that's okay. I'm very excited. We'll put this story together for you, and hopefully you'll join us on News Channel 8 and look out for this story.
Okay, so what we're going to do, JB, if you can hear us, there's a beautiful shot of our tail camera, and we're going to go ahead and head back to Tampa, and we'll see you guys later.
Thanks for joining us.